everyone, it's ExpressAmber, and today we are going to talk about
Audit.
So stay tuned to learn everything that you will need in case you come up for an IFTA audit. All right, so I have heard from countless clients that call and they have this like doomsday fear of God voice, and they say, I got a notice and I have an IFTA audit. What do I do? And there's a very simple answer for this, and we'll get into that in just a minute. We're going to go through a couple of different sections of what you need to supply, what the best way to do this is, all of that information. We're going to go through that, but then I'm going to give you an awesome solution at the end of this video. So stay tuned and we'll talk about all of those different sections, but around 3%, every single jurisdiction has to audit around 3% of everybody who has an IFTA account. So it's very likely that you'll receive that doomsday letter in the mail that says you've been selected. And when you're selected, you have to present all of this information. And a lot of times drivers don't have all of that information, and that's when you can get into trouble and get fines and penalties. So what typically happens is that you will receive a notification in the mail, and it will tell you, hey, you've been selected for an audit. And within 30 days, you'll need to have all of your paperwork together, because somebody will come, like an auditor will come, and they'll look through your business information and all of the information that was required. And it's a pretty comprehensive check that they will do. They'll look at all of the information, make sure that it's all there, and then they will come up with their paperwork, they'll go through it, and then they will notify you if you do have any penalties or fees or anything that you owe because you didn't have any part of that information. So it's very important, again, that you are keeping your documentation. This is a business. You are running a business, and so it's very important that you are keeping it as a business, making sure that you have all of your documentation in order, making sure that your IFTA information is in order, your fuel records, your mileage, making sure all of that is together and in order, so that if an IFTA audit comes up, again, you're not spending weeks getting ready for it. You literally click a couple of buttons and you have the information that you need, so that when the auditor comes, you're able to provide it. Here you go. Here's what you need. It's a very quick process, and hopefully you have everything at that point, and you won't be you won't have additional fees or be penalized. So that's typically the process that happens when you are called for an IFTA audit. So I briefly talked about, of course, like when you get the paperwork that you are up for an audit, that it's going to have the list of things that you will need to provide that auditor who is going to come. And so I'll briefly go through those different things that you'll need. And we're also going to show it on the screen so that you can see what's required. And again, every jurisdiction is different. So this is kind of just a generalized list of things. But when you get that paperwork, you should have specifically what your jurisdiction is asking you to provide when that auditor shows up. So the basic things that you will need are your past audits and areas of discrepancy. So make sure that you have any past paperwork that is important. Make sure it's available. The more that you can provide, the better. Any of your IRP, so your plate applications, your equipment list, if you have more than one truck, if you have one truck, make sure all of that information is readily available. Review your IFTA application. Make sure it's up to date. How many numbers of decals that you have. Make sure that you have enough decals for all of your trucks. Basically, what they're looking for are any weird inconsistencies, such as extreme MPGs, large fluctuations in your distance or your fuel, the size of your operation, number of jurisdictions traveled, non-IFTA distances, calculation errors, seasonal fluctuations, billing and refunds, and your tax paid fuel, other unrelated items. But again, it's all looking at your reports, the returns that you submit every quarter. If something is crazy, it's going to flag your account. Even if you submit IFTA returns every quarter and they're within the range, what they're looking for in this audit is anything that's abnormal that would cause them concern and make them want to come and do an audit. And I'm sure these auditors are super nice people and they are just doing their job, but you want to make sure that you are prepared to give them what they need so that you can just get back on the road and doing your job. So these are a couple of things that you'll want to have on hand so that it goes as seamless as possible. Taxable and non-taxable use of fuel. Distance traveled for taxable and non-taxable use. Your distance recaps for each vehicle for each jurisdiction in which the vehicle operated, and supporting information like dates, routes, odometer readings, and more. For the fuel side of things, you'll want to have the date of each receipt for those fuel records, the name and address of the person from whom purchased that fuel or received that fuel, the number of gallons or liters received, the type of fuel, and the vehicle or equipment into which the fuel was placed. You'll also want to have monthly and quarterly summaries. So again, the more information that you're able to supply and the more information that you're able to have there and show them, the better it's going to be for you. So you will want to have your IFTA reports, your IFTA returns for each quarter for the last 4 years, or since you've been operating. If you've only been operating for 2 years and you've only had an IFTA account open for 2 years, then of course that would be sufficient. So basically, the auditors just want to make sure that you have your records in order and everything is where it should be, that you are reporting all of your mileage, all of your fuel, your MPGs are within range, you're reporting it for all of the vehicles that qualify for that. So if they're on your IFTA account, they also have to be on each quarterly return. So having a shoebox full of receipts that are all popping out of the shoebox, or a manila envelope, that was always my favorite, is when the drivers would just send us this like big, huge, fat envelope with like, here's my quarter receipts from, third quarter. Yeah, that's not going to look good. So you want to make sure that you're using a system, you're using a software that is going to keep this all in order for you on a quarterly basis, on a daily basis. And then if you ever do have an IFTA audit, you're able to just go in, pull those reports, and you're done. You're not spending weeks and weeks and weeks getting this stuff together, which leads me into my next point. You want to be prepared. So when you are thinking about starting your trucking business, or even if you're a leased operator, or you already have your trucking business open and going and you're already doing loads and you've got it good, are you using the best TMS that can track all of this information for you? And again, as I've mentioned a couple different times, pull those reports for you in a matter of minutes. We have a product called TruckLogics. And TruckLogics is a truck management system that was built for truckers and by the trucking industry. And so it's laid out in a way that is how you operate your day-to-day. And again, whether you're a leased operator, whether you're an owner operator, whether you have 1 truck or 20 trucks, whether you have a fleet, TruckLogics has an option for you that can work for your business structure. And within TruckLogics, we are integrated with ProMiles, which helps so much with the mileage portion of the IFTA report. And then we are also integrated with EFS. And if you are already using an EFS card, you can integrate that into your account. And that pulls all of your fuel up to 3 months back for all of the fuel purchases that you have made. And so when it's time to do your IFTA, you literally click 3 buttons and it prints out a file-ready report. And it has all of the information, including your mileage and your fuel for that quarter that you are working on. Once you have that report, you file it with your jurisdiction and you're good to go. There's also a reporting section where you can pull any report that you have created. And again, it's important to keep records up to 4 years back so that you have enough records going back in case of an IFTA audit. But you can come into your TruckLogics account at any time and pull those records of what they're asking for at any point. I hope that this video has helped you understand what can happen if you have an IFTA audit, what you need to provide in a scenario that you have an IFTA audit coming up. And also, if you have any questions about the third quarter IFTA that is due November 1st of 2021, please comment below. I'm happy to help answer any questions about IFTA or IFTA related questions. Happy to help with any of those. And if you have not checked out TruckLogics, do yourself a favor and go check out TruckLogics.com. We do offer a 15-day free trial. You do not have to enter in a credit card to do a trial, and it's no obligation. We know that you'll fall in love with using TruckLogics. It's an amazing system. It's an amazing program. So if you try TruckLogics, let us know how you like it. Try it for 15 days, enter in all of your information, actually use the product. But we have an awesome support team for TruckLogics as well. But head on over to TruckLogics.com and try out TruckLogics for 15 days. It's amazing. You'll love it. If you have any other questions, comment down below. Stay tuned for more videos. It's October and spooky month, and then November and December. So we're excited here. We are planning some fun videos. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe so that you get all of the notifications, and let us know if you have any questions. Thanks.